Let me ask you something. Are you just making a living, or are you truly designing a life? Because there's a big difference. You can have a paycheck and still feel poor in purpose. You can be busy every day and still be going nowhere. Life isn't meant to be something you endure. It's meant to be something you create. So today, I'm going to show you how to stop surviving and start designing a life of purpose, balance, and lasting legacy. Stay with me, because this might just be the shift that changes everything. The purpose beyond the paycheck is one of the most profound lessons you can ever learn in life. It's easy to fall into the rhythm of working day after day, collecting the paycheck, and thinking that's what life is all about. But life was never meant to be a routine of alarm clocks, commutes, and monthly bills. The purpose of work is not merely to earn, but to learn, not just to survive, but to thrive, not just to exist, but to create meaning. Making a living is a necessity, but designing a life is a choice. And that choice begins the moment you stop asking, "What do I get?" and start asking, "What am I becoming?" Too many people are trapped in what I call the cycle of earning and spending. They work hard all week just to catch up on the weekend, and before they know it, another year has passed, and nothing has changed except the number of candles on the birthday cake. The truth is, you can make a great living and still be poor in purpose. You can drive the best car, wear the finest clothes, and still feel empty when you look in the mirror because you haven't discovered what your work means. Money, as Jim Rohn used to say, is a wonderful servant but a terrible master. It can buy comfort, but it can't buy contentment. It can fill your wallet, but it can't fill your heart. The goal, then, is not to chase money, but to chase meaning, to find work that fulfills, challenges, and grows you. Because once you find your purpose, the paycheck becomes a byproduct, not the prize. Imagine two people at the same job. One comes in just to collect a salary. The other comes in to learn, to grow, to serve, and to contribute. The first counts the hours, the second makes the hours count. Over time, their paths will separate completely. Not because of luck, but because of attitude. One is working for a living, the other is working for a life. That's the difference between existing and living. When you discover purpose in your work, every task becomes sacred. You don't just sell, you serve. You don't just earn, you express your gifts. And in doing so, you rise above mediocrity and step into mastery. Remember, your job is not who you are. It's a platform that allows you to build who you can become. It's the classroom where your character is shaped, your skills are sharpened, and your dreams begin to form. So never let your paycheck define your potential. The number on that slip of paper doesn't reflect your worth. It reflects where you've chosen to apply your energy so far. If you want more, become more, because your income rarely exceeds your level of personal development. You must grow into the kind of person who can attract more opportunities, more relationships, more abundance. And that's the real beauty of purpose. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. It turns labor into love. It makes work no longer something you have to do, but something you get to do. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every masterpiece began with someone who saw beyond the paycheck. They saw their work as a mission, not a job, but a journey. When you live with that mindset, every day becomes meaningful. You don't drag yourself to work, you walk with purpose. You don't count the minutes to freedom, you create freedom in every minute. And slowly, you begin to see that the greatest wealth is not what you accumulate, but who you become in the process of pursuing what truly matters. So yes, make your living, but don't stop there. Let your work be the soil where your dreams grow, where your values take root, and where your life gains its meaning. Because when you find the purpose beyond the paycheck, you stop trading your time for money and start investing your time into a life that's worth living. The power of intentional living begins with understanding that a great life never happens by accident. You cannot stumble into a meaningful existence any more than you can accidentally build a house. You must draw the blueprint, gather the materials, and commit to the process. Most people, unfortunately, drift through life reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. They go where the day takes them, where the wind blows them, and where other people push them. But life was not meant to be lived by default. It was meant to be lived by design. Intentional living is about deciding in advance who you want to become, what you want to stand for, and where you want to end up. It's the difference between being busy and being effective. Many people confuse activity with accomplishment. They run from task to task, answering messages, attending meetings, fulfilling requests. But at the end of the day, they feel unfulfilled because they never stop to ask, is this moving me toward my vision? You see, without a clear direction, even the fastest runner is lost. Living intentionally means you don't let circumstances write your story. You pick up the pen yourself. You stop blaming luck, timing, or opportunity, and you take responsibility for your results. Every day becomes a choice to grow, to learn, to give, and to move forward. It's waking up in the morning with a plan instead of a hope. Hope is beautiful, but it's not a strategy. You must combine hope with habits, dreams with discipline, and passion with a plan. A well-designed life starts with vision. You must see it in your mind before you can hold it in your hand. The clearer your vision, the stronger your decisions. When you know where you're going, every yes and every no becomes powerful. You stop saying yes to distractions and start saying yes to destiny. That's how purpose begins to shape your life. Think about the farmer. He doesn't just walk out to his field and hope for a harvest. He prepares the soil, plants the seed, waters the ground, and guards it against weeds. He is intentional about every step, knowing that his future depends on what he does today. That's how life works. If you plant carelessly, you harvest regret. But if you plant with purpose, you harvest fulfillment. So, design your days carefully. Decide what kind of person you want to be in 5 years, and start living like that person today. Don't wait for the right time. There will never be a perfect moment. The best time to design your life is now, with what you have, where you are. Every small decision, every daily discipline, every intentional action compounds into a masterpiece. It's not the grand moments that shape your destiny. It's the consistent, quiet choices that no one sees. Intentional living also means aligning your actions with your values. If family matters to you, give them your time, not just your leftovers. If health matters, take care of your body before it demands your attention. If learning matters, feed your mind daily. Living intentionally is about building a life that reflects what's truly important to you, not what society says should be. Most people don't plan to fail. They simply fail to plan. They don't set out to live meaningless lives, but because they never decide what they want, they accept whatever comes. The truth is, if you don't design your life, someone else will design it for you, and they won't design it in your favor. Intentional living protects you from drifting into mediocrity. It turns dreams into direction and direction into destiny. Every successful person in any field began with a decision, a moment when they said, enough drifting. From today, I live on purpose. That single decision creates a chain reaction of focus, growth, and achievement. Because when you live intentionally, you move from merely existing to truly living. You stop asking, what should I do today? And start declaring, this is who I'm becoming. And once you make that shift, your life takes on a level of clarity, energy, and fulfillment that no paycheck, no position, and no approval can ever replace. Personal development over professional achievement, that's where the real transformation begins. Too many people spend their lives chasing promotions, titles, and recognition, yet neglect the very foundation that sustains all of it, themselves. They polish their resumes, but forget to refine their character. They upgrade their skills, but not their mindset. They learn how to make a living, but they never learn how to make a life. The truth is, your outer world will always be a reflection of your inner growth. Who you become will always determine what you attract, what you achieve, and what you sustain. You see, success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. If you want greater opportunities, you must become a person capable of handling them. If you want more income, you must develop more value. Life doesn't pay you for your time. It pays you for the value you bring to that time, and that value is created by continuous personal growth. The question is not, what am I getting from my job? But what is my job making of me? Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That's one of the greatest pieces of wisdom Jim Rohn ever shared. Because when you become more valuable, everything around you begins to rise. Your confidence grows, your communication improves, your mindset strengthens, and soon opportunities begin to find you instead of you chasing them. It's not about luck, it's about preparation meeting opportunity. A person who focuses only on their profession without growing personally becomes like a tree that grows tall but not deep. It might look impressive for a while, but when the storm comes, it cannot stand. The storms of life, rejection, stress, failure, criticism, will test your roots. That's why personal development is not optional, it's essential. You must grow roots of discipline, gratitude, patience, and vision. Because titles can be taken away, but character cannot. Your personal growth journey should be intentional. Read books that stretch your mind. Listen to mentors who challenge your comfort. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to think bigger, dream higher, and act bolder. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you step beyond what's easy and start pursuing what's necessary. Think about this. You could lose your job tomorrow, and the paycheck might stop, but if you've built the habits, the skills, the wisdom, and the resilience, you can always create another opportunity. That's why personal growth is the best investment. It can never be taken from you. You carry it wherever you go. Professional success might give you a reputation, but personal development gives you transformation. It changes how you see the world, how you handle problems, and how you treat people. It gives you the calm confidence to face challenges and the humility to keep learning. You begin to realize that it's not about being the best in the world. It's about being the best for the world. And here's the beautiful part. As you grow, everything else grows with you. Your relationships deepen, your health improves, your decisions become wiser, and your influence expands. People start noticing not just what you do, but who you are. Because personal growth radiates, it cannot be hidden. In the end, your degree, your title, your income, all those things fade in time. But the person you become will determine the quality of every experience, every relationship, and every opportunity that enters your life. So, while you work for your goals, never forget to work on yourself. Because the greatest achievement in life is not what you accumulate, but who you evolve into. The stronger, wiser, more compassionate version of you. That's the real reward. When you prioritize becoming the right kind of person, success stops being something you chase and starts being something you naturally attract. Balance and contribution are two of the most essential pillars of a well-designed life. You see, success without balance is short-lived, and achievement without contribution is hollow. Too many people climb the ladder of success only to find that it was leaning against the wrong wall. They achieve financial freedom but lose their health. They build a name but break their family. They gain recognition but lose peace of mind. True success is not measured by what you accumulate, but by the harmony you create between your work, your health, your relationships, and your ability to give back to others. Life was never meant to be lived in fragments. You cannot pour all your energy into your career while neglecting your well-being and expect happiness to follow. A good life is like a symphony. Every instrument has to play its part in tune. Your body, mind, relationships, and purpose must work together to produce harmony. If one area is out of rhythm, the whole song loses its beauty. Balance is not about dividing time equally among all things. It's about giving the right attention to the right thing at the right time. Work hard, yes, but rest too. Give your best to your career, but don't forget to give your heart to your loved ones. Feed your ambition, but also feed your soul. A life of balance is not one without ambition. It's a life where ambition serves your peace, not steals it. Remember, what good is it to reach the top of the mountain if you lose yourself on the way up? And once you find that balance, there comes something even greater: contribution. The ultimate purpose of life is not just to have more, but to be more and give more. When you grow yourself, you naturally gain the ability to lift others. When you have more, you can share more. When you learn more, you can teach more. That's the beautiful cycle of contribution. It turns success into significance. Every human being has two hands, one to climb and one to lift others as you go. The greatest satisfaction in life doesn't come from what you get. It comes from what you give. The joy of helping someone else succeed, of mentoring a young dreamer, of providing for your family, or even of brightening someone's day. That's the kind of fulfillment money can never buy. Because when you contribute to others, you feed the part of your soul that wealth cannot reach. Contribution is not about how much you give. It's about how sincerely you give it. A smile, a kind word, an act of service, these are forms of wealth that multiply when shared. The smallest gesture, done with love, can make the biggest difference in someone's life. Every day, you have a chance to leave a mark not with your wealth, but with your character. When you live with balance and contribution, your life begins to feel complete. You no longer chase happiness, you create it. You start realizing that balance is not a static point. It's a living rhythm that adjusts as you grow. Some seasons will demand more work, others will invite more rest. The key is to stay aware, stay grateful, and stay aligned with what truly matters. There will come a time when your career will slow down, your achievements will fade from memory, and the applause will quiet. But the love you gave, the people you helped, and the good you did, those will echo forever. Because contribution leaves a legacy that time cannot erase. So live in balance, nurture your body, sharpen your mind, grow your spirit, and treasure your relationships. Then, from that fullness, give your time, your wisdom, your kindness, and your resources. Because a well-designed life is not measured by how much you've gathered, but by how many lives you've touched along the way. That's when you'll know you've truly lived. When your success serves others and your balance brings peace, not just to your life, but to the lives of those around you. Legacy thinking is the art of living today with tomorrow in mind. It's about realizing that life is not just about the years you spend, but about the impact you leave behind when those years are done. Too many people focus so much on making a living that they forget to make a difference. They accumulate wealth, build titles, and chase recognition. But one day they discover that none of those things can outlive them. Legacy is not what you leave for people, it's what you leave in them. It's the values, lessons, and inspiration you plant in others that continue to grow long after you're gone. Every day, you're writing the story that others will one day tell about you. The question is, what kind of story will it be? Will it be about a person who only worked to earn, or someone who lived to serve? Legacy thinking invites you to zoom out, to look beyond the next paycheck, the next vacation, or the next goal, and ask, what will this all mean when it's over? When you start thinking in terms of legacy, your decisions change. You stop chasing short-term pleasure and start investing in long-term purpose. You begin to value growth over comfort and contribution over convenience. We all have an invisible influence that shapes the world around us. Every word we speak, Every action we take and every attitude we show leaves an imprint. The question is not whether you will leave a legacy. You already are. The real question is, what kind of legacy will it be? Will people remember you as someone who inspired them, helped them, or lifted them higher? Or will they remember someone who was too busy surviving to truly live? Legacy is built one day at a time through the small moments of integrity, kindness, and courage. It's in the way you treat people when no one is watching. It's in the values you stand for, even when it's difficult. It's in the lessons you pass down to your children, your students, your colleagues, and your community. You don't need to be famous or wealthy to build a legacy. You just need to care enough to make a difference in the space where you stand. Think of the people who've shaped your life: a teacher, a mentor, a friend, a parent. They may not have had all the answers, but they gave you something far more valuable: belief, guidance, love, or wisdom. That's what legacy feels like. It's not loud, it's lasting. It's not built in moments of fame, but in moments of sincerity. The words you speak today might become the motivation someone carries for the rest of their life. Legacy thinking also means living with intentional gratitude and responsibility. You begin to see your resources, your time, energy, and skills not just as tools for personal success, but as instruments for collective good. You realize that life is not a race to accumulate, but a mission to contribute. And when you give of yourself, something miraculous happens. Your influence multiplies. The more you share, the more your legacy grows, not in your bank account, but in the hearts of others. Eventually, there comes a moment for everyone when they look back and reflect, not on how much they had, but on what they gave. The question won't be how much money you made, but how many lives you touched. It won't be about what you owned, but what you built in character and kindness. You see, your true wealth is measured in memories, in gratitude, in impact. When you live with legacy in mind, you approach each day differently. You speak more thoughtfully, listen more patiently, and love more freely. You stop wasting time on trivial matters and focus on what really matters: growing, giving, and guiding. And the beautiful truth is, when you live this way, you don't just leave a legacy at the end of your life. You live it every single day. So don't just make a living. Create a life that inspires others long after you're gone. Let your words encourage, your actions uplift, and your example endure. Because in the end, your legacy is not a monument made of stone. It's a ripple made of love, courage, and purpose that moves through generations yet to come. That's the ultimate success: to live a life so meaningful that your influence outlives your presence. So, my friends, as we bring this message to a close, remember this simple but powerful truth. Life is not about how much you earn, but about how much you become. It's not about how many hours you work, but about how much purpose fills those hours. Don't just make a living, design a life. A life rich in meaning, guided by intention, fueled by growth, balanced in spirit, and remembered for contribution. The world doesn't need more people who are just busy. It needs more people who are alive. People who wake up each morning with vision in their hearts, gratitude in their minds, and service in their actions. People who understand that success is not a destination, but a direction. One that leads to fulfillment, freedom, and legacy. Let your work serve your dreams, not enslave them. Let your goals build your character, not your ego. Let your life be a reflection of your values, not your circumstances. You were not born just to pay bills and pass time. You were born to create, to give, to grow, and to make a difference. So go design that life with passion, with purpose, with persistence. Build something you're proud of. Live with intention every single day. And when your story is told, let it be said that you didn't just make a living, you made a life worth living.